All right, well, thank you everybody for coming. My name is Mike Milan. I'm happy to be here tonight to talk about math expressions. I'm the math department supervisor, started in October, like Drew mentioned. So I wanted to start with just a brief video of one of our star elementary teachers who you may have seen in the building even tonight.
Our new math resource is titled Math Expressions. One of the benefits to this program is that it does just what it's titled. It allows the kids to express themselves mathematically. The students are able to express themselves both at the board, raising their hands more often. I even asked students to be guest teachers and come up to the front of the classroom and share their thinking. And that's really what I think helps some of them get to the point where they are good problem solvers.
I think the thing that is most helpful to me in math is the book, and that he allows us to use partners because it allows us to interact with each other, and if we get different answers we can discuss with each other to see which one is actually correct.
I think the most helpful thing in math class is our teacher. He doesn't just say, do this, and you get your answer. He actually clarifies what you do, how you do it, and how you make sure you actually get your answer.
So Mr. Gallagher uses iPad for like stuff to go on our screen, and then sometimes we could like write the answer.
The blog that he sets up with the video, like just in case I go home and I forget how to do this one question, then it helps me to know like how to do it, and it gets me more prepared for the test.
We're using a lot of different manipulatives, whiteboards, lots of different ways to have the students solve equations. We want them to be able to have a lot of different tools at their disposal so that they can pick the one that works best for them.
Math is pretty fun. I like math a lot.
So we're really excited about the Math Expressions program. This is the second year of implementation with Math Expressions, and feel like that curriculum really matches well the goals that we have to get at that deep conceptual understanding. So hopefully you've seen these textbooks. These covers look familiar, but we believe that this is going to build a strong foundation for students as they progress through the years and are ready for more abstract math thinking, and years down the road when they get into algebra and geometry that they'll have a strong foundation for those courses. So I wanted to give just a quick example of what it means to understand. I don't know if you can see that clearly from where you are. I thought that was kind of funny. So that student sort of missed the point of the exercise. But what does it mean to understand? And so I have here a 4-digit number times a 1-digit number. And so as I was thinking about that, I thought like I have a procedure that I use to do that and can do it pretty well. And so you start by multiplying the 4 and the 9 and you get 36, but you don't write 36, right? You write the 6 one spot and the 3 somewhere else, and then you multiply stuff and add and go through this little rigmarole to get the answer. And it really obscures a lot of the meaning behind what you're actually doing. So I thought just having this gives a little bit more uncovering or exposes a little bit more the thinking behind what's going on in that process. And even though it's maybe more writing to get to the answer, I think it's more clear in what's happening. And then one more, and this was actually the full slide. And I think when I first looked at this, I think, oh my word, like really you would do all of that to multiply a 4-digit number times a 1-digit number? But the idea here is, you know, as a former math student, like now I'm a math teacher, but as a former math student, which we all are, it's easy to forget the early stages of understanding what it means to multiply and keeping all these pieces put together. And I think that I've heard students and parents and all through my life, people say that either they don't like math or they don't understand math. And so I think we really have a duty to our students to try and get past that and explain math to a level where all students are able to understand it. And so I think to be able to visualize it and draw pictures and see how the things fit together can really can really help students get over that hurdle of either not liking math or not understanding math to a point where they can do it. And that's the foundation. And then we build on that the procedural proficiency and then go back to those strategies that can eventually do the problems quickly and simply and consistently correctly, hopefully. All right. So that was just a little bit of an overview of what we're doing with math expressions and what we're excited about. But the real goal of tonight is to try to identify some resources that are available for you to use as a parent. And I believe that when schools and families work together, that the student wins. So the goal here is to work together. And I'm going to explain 4 resources that are available to you tonight. And they're all online, so we'll take a look at some of these. The first one is Think Central, and I hope you all got a handout. I forgot to ask if everybody got a handout, but hopefully you all got a handout. So on Think Central, the one key resource there is the Math Expressions online version of the student activity book. So you can find that for every grade, and if you log on to Think Central, you'll actually see 2 versions of the book. There's the one that says the Flash version and then the HTML5 ebook. And the Flash version is best if you're working on a computer or on a laptop, and then the HTML5 is best if you're working on an iPad. The reason why I have the Flash version circled is because there's a few more resources available if you go into that one. So there's something called linked resources on the Flash version, and that's not there if you go in the iPad version. So if you log into that book, then there's really 2 important ways to navigate. And if you're interested in these resources, we have computers over in room 100, so we can go over there after this session, and you can log into a computer and follow these steps and make sure that you can find them with somebody here to help you find them. So I'm going to just kind of go through it quickly here, but then if you want more details, we have the second session for you to actually experience that. But up at the top here, there's 2 icons that are really important when you get there, and I think those are on the back of your handout. The one is the table of contents, so you can navigate to the unit and the lesson that your student is working on. And then the other one looks like 2 little links of a chain, and that's for linked resources. So just to mention, if you click on that little link of the little links icon, it gives you a drop-down list of all the resources. I know you probably can't read that from here, but it's just a drop-down list of all the resources that are correlated to that unit that come with math expressions. Just to highlight one of them there, it says Destination Math, and that is like a game-based math practice little program. And it even has little instructional tutorials that explain how to do the math concept. So if your student wants to play some other game on the computer and you can talk them into a few minutes of a math game first or something, it's a good way to practice their math concepts in like a little bit of a game setting. And those are correlated to the unit that they're working in. So from there they can go to other units as well, but they could at least start with the unit they're currently working on in class. Are there any questions about that before we move on to the next item? All right. I like the Burger King slogan, "Have it your way," and I thought this was funny. I don't know, you probably can't read the small text there, but I'll read it to you. This was posted on a Burger King door. It says, "Pool. You can have it your way and push if you want, but the hinge is pretty stubborn." So, but when I think of like what my role is in this job, and as I came to Hempfield in October, the first couple projects that I was assigned, a common theme came up that we have parents who would like to help their kids with math, but some of the new techniques that are being used and the new approaches that are being used in the classroom makes it difficult to know how to help and how to do something that would be helpful. And my initial reaction was, what a great problem to have, because in most districts, they're trying to brainstorm ways to engage parents and try and get them interested in helping, but we're like way past that, and we have parents with energy and the desire to help and just need resources. So to me, that's a much better problem to have to tackle. And so I was excited to try and tackle that, and excited to tell you kind of what I came up with as a resource for you, and I hope you give it a try and give me some feedback on whether this is helpful or not, and if it's not, then we'll go a different direction, but I think you're gonna like it. So what I did is Math Expressions comes with about, for every grade level, about 100 pages, resource pages, I'm calling them parent pages, that are focused on a single skill, and then they correlate each of those pages to lessons throughout the year. So I took those resources and the correlation guides and everything, and I created a page that looks like this for every chapter. I'm sorry if this is confusing. It was the best I could to make it as clear as possible. But for every grade and for every chapter, there's a page that looks like this. So this is grade 2, unit 5. And if you look at like lesson 2, so if you know what unit your child's working on, so say they're working in unit 5, lesson 2, that's on hours and minutes. It says on this page that there's 2 parent page references for that lesson. There's parent page L24 and parent page L82. And so in the same folder where this document is, where this correlation guide is, you will find those 2 parent pages, L24 and L82. And they're really well done. They look kind of like this. And what they have is an example at the top with it all worked out, and everything, all the work done on the example at the top, and then a couple practice problems. And I also posted the answers to all of these so that you can see if your child's doing the work correctly on this. So I think these are going to be easy to use, easy to access. They are all posted, those guides and the worksheets and the answer keys are all posted on the district SharePoint site. So again, you can practice going to that in the lab in the next session if you want. But I am going to walk through the steps to accessing that here now. And I have it on the PowerPoint slide, but I thought, well, at least give it a try live here. And if it doesn't work live, then we'll go back to just the steps there. So we'll start at the district homepage. So this is just hemfieldsd.org. And you have to get to the curriculum site. So there's 2 different ways to do it, but I think maybe the easiest way is under where it says links for parents. And there's about, 5 or 6 links there, and one of them says K-12 curriculum. So you go links for parents and then K-12 curriculum. And that gets you to our district curriculum site. And right in the middle is that big red button. So you click that, and that's pretty much it. Once you get that far, the rest of it's pretty simple, because if you're looking for math resources, all the subject areas are over here. So you can use the first couple instructions to get to any subject area. But if you're looking specifically for math resources, then click on mathematics. And then you get each grade level. So the one that I was just showing you here a minute ago was grade 2. So we'll look at that one, grade 2. And each of the grades has a screen that looks like this. This like coded document, that YAG means year at a glance. So that gives you our curriculum for a whole year on like a single page. Like, what are the math concepts that are going to be covered that year? There's also a document here that's got some links in it to videos and things. I'm not going to take time to go into that right now. But the one that I'm talking about tonight, the Math Expressions Parent Resources by Unit, that's the one that you would go to find the documents that I was just talking about. And then you get a list of all the units for the year. Because I had to put this together pretty quickly, I started with whatever unit was looked like your child was doing at the beginning of February. So hopefully that was about right. So if you go into some of the earlier units, those are going to be empty, but those are already passed. So hopefully the units that you're looking at from now till the end of the year will have all the right documents in. Again, if they're not, please let me know and I'll make sure that they're there. But each of those chapters is going to look like this. It's got the guide at the top and it has all of those parent pages down through. So if you want to know which of these parent pages is the right one to do tonight, then you open up the parent guide at the top, and that will look like the resource that I just showed you. And so whatever lesson they're on, it tells you which one is the right one to do, and then you can go back to those. Before I leave this page, I just want to mention there's a video link here. In fact, I'll just see if that opens up. That's specific for a grade, so those are video resources, and I think I put links also on the handout that you could type in. But for each grade, there's about 7 or 8, sometimes 9 videos that explain a little bit some of the techniques and the ways that teachers are expressing things in class. So if there's something going on, your child's telling you how they're doing something in class, this might give you a little bit more background into that sort of thing. A lot of resources available to you here, but I think one of the best places to start if your child's confused on something are these parent page lessons that identify skills involved in that particular lesson. Any questions on these resources at this point? Yeah.
How do you go back to like the L24 what you see?
Yeah, the way that we got to this page was by clicking on that parent guide. So if you just hit the back arrow, one more space, you should go back to that list of all of them. And then they're all in order. There's 100 of them, but I only put the ones that were for chapter 5 in chapter 5. So, unless I missed one, they should all be there. And again, if there's anything missing, please let me know and I'll make sure it gets added. Good question. Well, I'll just take one more minute and mention when we were navigating through here, this philosophy and research behind math expressions. If you really have an interest and a passion for this whole thing and you want more information about, there's just tons of information here. And each of these is a link to videos. And I just didn't know how much interest or whatever everybody's interested in. But this has video links, that page that I just showed you for grade 2, this is a link to every grade right here, so you can get to every grade there. And then there's more general things just about PA Core. I know PA Core and Common Core are all hot topics right now. If you want to see some of the research that went into this curriculum and why it's designed the way it is, there's just lots of resources like that available for further learning. And if it generates questions, please send me an email or you can give me a call and we'll dialogue about that. So I thought this was funny, so I'm going to make sure I put this back up here, see if that worked. Did that work? So if you have any questions, you can give me a call, and there's my number. That's not really my number, but there is my number and my email address, so if you have questions and you want to shoot me a message, that should have been on the handout. I didn't think about that till I'm standing up here right now, so I apologize for that.
The parent pages, was that supposed to be a booklet that we were supposed to get last year?
It's not. It's like just part of the teacher resources, and so just the challenge is in how do we distribute that, and a fair amount of legwork in getting that all on the SharePoint site. So I hope that works as a way to access those resources. If it's not working for any reason, we'll try a different method of distributing it. It is easy enough to put it in a single PDF and you can have the whole works, but I didn't think that would be very convenient for sorting through it. I guess I didn't show you where the answers were, but there is an answer folder there, and maybe we can look at that in the lab. We're just about out of time here for this session, but if you want to know where the answers are, we can show you that in the lab, or stick around after the session and I can show you where that is. Any other questions? Yeah.
You did say you could go in under Think Central and log in. Is there, what login do we use?
Yeah, good question. The students have a username and password that they use from year to year. It's the same as their ILS password. So if I don't have that information, but I can get it for you. If you want to just experience Think Central tonight, we have a guest username and password that you can use for tonight. But from home, you would want to use your student's username and password to access that. And the student should know that because it's something they use on ILS. Yeah.
Does it track if we're doing things under our student ID when we log in from home like that?
It depends a little bit, I think, on how the teacher sets it up, and I don't know, some of our elementary teachers may be able to speak to that.
Because otherwise, I want to make sure that I have 3 kids. I log in for each individual kid so that we get.
Do any of you want to?
As far as if a teacher assigns an online assessment, then yes, you don't want to be helping with that.
And I believe they would only get to that student's textbook in that particular grade. So if you had a 3rd grader and a 5th grader and you logged in with the wrong one, they wouldn't see their book at all, I don't believe.
Yeah, I mean, with a program like Study Island, then that's where the data would be recorded from session to session. But this would be very different from that. Yeah.
And that was my second question. If I have somebody in 1st grade, when's the ILS password going to start? Second. If she doesn't.
There still is a username that they do have that the teacher can print off and give them to them, even if they don't start ILS in 2nd grade. But all the kids in kindergarten, 1st grade still have a username and a password.
Let me just repeat that for the video and for everybody else. Every student from kindergarten up has a username and password, but they only start using it for ILS starting in grade 2. So a kindergartner or a 1st grader may not know their username and password, but they do have one, and we can get that for you. The teacher should be able to access that for you if you ask their teacher. If you have any trouble getting it from the teacher, Rayanne Smith and Sue Allen work on all of that, and I mean, that's who I would refer you to. So I can help you get started in that process as well. We are out of time, and I'll still answer your questions, but if there's another session you want to get to, I want to make sure that you can get to that session. So if you have specific questions, you can come down and ask me, but we're also going to be moving to room 100 for anybody that wants to log in. Sorry, 101. And so if you have further questions, please ask there. Thank you.